C-Suite Edge. I'm your host, John Light, founder, CEO, president, and whatever else I need to be at Sabretooth Recruiting. And I'm really fortunate today, and in part because I am a recovering accountant myself. Early on in my career, which is where I suppose I left my hair. I don't recall because it's been a while, but I'm really fortunate to have Brad Ebenhoeh on the show today. Brad, thanks so much for joining me.
Well, I'm happy to be here, John. Thanks for the invite.
Well, it's interesting because one of the things that caught my attention when we set this up is that you are a founder and operate a company called Accountfully, and it's accountfully.com, which just seeing the name makes me go, huh. Because, I see account nowadays, I always think clients, but I see accounting and I think numbers, but I see account fully, I think, man, that there's some meaning, there's a theme there. So I'm hoping you can kind of get us rolling with an overview of Accountfully and your background and what you guys do.
Yeah, the name Accountfully, we hired somebody a decade ago to help us rebrand, and he came up with that. And literally it tells people what we do. We are a fully outsourced accounting solution provider to small businesses at our core, right? So Accountfully, we're taking over your accounting and bookkeeping fully is basically the whole goal of it, right? So the name's great. One little nuance with the names that makes our life much better than otherwise, just randomly, is since it's Accountfully, it starts with ACC, so a lot of the listings that we get listed on or partner pages or whatever, we're always at the top, like the old phone book, right, of ACC being towards the top, which is kind of just an extra good little add-on from our end. So, but that's just a fun little fact. So anyways, what we do is we've been around for over 13 years. My wife and I own the business, and essentially we provide a fractional accounting service to small businesses all across the nation.
Wow. So, and you also have, if I recall correctly, a completely distributed workforce with people across a bunch of states. And one of the questions I have, and I know you weren't expecting this question, but I got to ask because it was mulling over in my head. How do you manage that? I mean, everybody's at a distance and has different hours and so on. How do you get the circus together in the right direction?
Yeah. Well, even before COVID hit, we did have people here locally in Charleston, South Carolina. It was our main office, and then we had a second office in Nashville, Tennessee, and that's where all of our employees were, and they had to go to the office every day. With that being said, all of our clients we served were all still kind of remote, service delivery. We were still using QuickBooks Online and Bill.com and all the software as a service applications, so our service delivery was the same. And when COVID hit, kind of moving to the remote model made sense, especially as we were growing pretty quickly, and it was hard to find the quantity of talent in Charleston, South Carolina. It's a small town here. Nashville's a little bit east, right? So anyways, we decided just to kind of go full turnkey into kind of more of the hybrid remote model. And we've hired some great people in 25 different states or whatever. And how we manage them, I mean, couple things, right? We do a pretty good process of vetting employees or prospects in terms of, like, we're not hiring right out of college. We want professionals, somebody with a couple years of experience and can kind of understand what we're looking for. But a big part of kind of what we're doing is, even though, like, let's say we work on a client each month and we bill them a fixed fee each month, we're still tracking time on our end in terms of how much time we're spending on clients. And I know that may go against the cool hip people today, but it's really the only way you can manage a business at the size of 65 to 70 people from my perspective, from a remote standpoint. I mean, so essentially we track time for all of our employees. We manage expectations, deliverables to client each week, and monthly we have multiple people, on account teams and different levels of reporting. We check out weekly, monthly, etc. Right? So we have it down as well as we can. And then if somebody's not working or not, doing the work, then we have a conversation and may have to get rid of them if that's the case. So it's really we're going to keep being remote just because that's where our talent is, and that's just kind of where it makes sense. But we just have some kind of more firm oversight and controls and expectations with them.
Yeah, I mean, that's such a hot topic nowadays. But maybe something that warrants exploration too is, I talk to a lot of people when it comes to this podcast, and one of the things I like to ask everybody, because I think it's so important, we often tend to try and embrace that, hey, we can do everything and be this kind of everything one-stop shop for everybody. And I know that's really, really, really hard to ever achieve because so many needs are different. Every business is kind of individualized in a sense, even though we have a lot of common overlap. So let me ask you this. What's the biggest problem you and Accountfully solve for your clients?
It's a great question. I tell, I'm going to say like a more intangible problem that we solve is I feel what we're solving for our small business owner clients, right? The core service clients that we're doing this bookkeeping and monthly financial reporting work for. I would say that we're solving unknown anxiety in terms of understanding that their business has somebody that's taken control of it, not control, but has it in its best interest to ensure the lights stay on from a bookkeeping perspective. You're getting accrual-based financials each month, so then you understand like where your business is from a profitability, from a balance sheet, from a cash flow perspective, right? So I would say that because when you have that behind you, you can go and run your business, and whether or not positives or negatives happen in your business, or whether something crazy happens like COVID, there's somebody here that is kind of like a support structure to help you kind of navigate that, those kind of ups and downs and unknowns that can come up.
So in a way, you take away the anxiety of the known unknowns.
Yeah, exactly. And we help them maybe sleep better at night, hopefully.
Well, I mean, look, I have a 5-person shop here at Sabretooth, and I really don't like getting distracted from my core focus on a daily basis to intermittent focus on the books and compliance and taxes, and go right down the list. And small businesses, it might be a while before you can afford to have a permanent person or a team who is responsible for that. So when you talk about small businesses, what's the scope you're talking about? Or, I mean, are you talking about micro entrepreneurs doing $500,000? Or are you talking about people who are building businesses that could be more of a lifestyle business or even something they look to scale?
I would say all of them, right? So we have clients that are brand new businesses that just launched, that just need some basic bookkeeping and tax help, right? We have 8-person, $1 million annual revenue digital agency, marketing, architect clients, right? That like, hey, just handle all my books and records. We work directly with the owner of the company. We help with invoicing, collections, paying bills, processing payroll, etc. And then we also do their taxes. We have 20 to $25 million annual revenue product-based companies that are selling natural foods, right? A food brand you'll see in Whole Foods, right? For them, we're actually working with like an in-house CFO or in-house COO, where we're their kind of fractional accounting department, right? So it can span different levels in terms of where we're at. And we've had to, especially the last couple of years, we've had to kind of customize our service level to kind of meet where the clients have been, especially with kind of the economic impact of small businesses the last couple of years of just, less cash available, kind of a little more stress, a little more pressure on fee structure, etc. So that's kind of where we're at. A lot of our clients work directly with the founder of the company, but as they've grown in scale and maybe bring out in somebody in-house to do it, we're still there as their bookkeeper or their fractional accounting department. It's still less than a full-time hire. There's still no people management. We're dealing with us, and different things like that. So it's when you get to that level, you get the conversations with the client of, well, do I bring it in-house and hire, or do I keep you guys? The rent versus buy conversation. So we have to have a conversation with them and just help them understand like our value proposition and the costs and different things like that.
Right. And this market is so in flux in terms of what people expect. I think there's a general increase in confidence for a lot of folks, but there's also a general increase in what just happened. The landscape is changing so fast, and a year ago or a year and a half ago, everybody was talking, rate cuts from the Fed. And now the Fed's like, we're not tapping the brakes, but we're stomping on them pretty hard. Kind of given the context of current state in the market here as we get into the first half of 25, when you look downstream for the second half 25, maybe even 26 and 7, how do you see the market evolving for the clients that you guys serve, and how do you see Accountfully perhaps evolving to meet those market needs?
Yeah, I'm hopeful that we'll get the second half of this year and into 2026, we'll get kind of back to a market that kind of promotes small business, right, and helps investing in small business and everything like it was pre-2023 time frame ish, where small businesses could go and grow. I really, the change that has happened the last couple of years has had small business owners have to focus getting back to basics of bookkeeping and accounting and just basics of business, right? Like, hey, minimize expenses, focus on cash. Are you profitable or not? Versus prior to that, especially with the market or the niches we were in with these small inventory-based businesses that need capital to grow, like angel investment, money come in, money in, grow top line, but are you actually profitable or are you just growing top line? Because we saw a lot of people going like this, but their profits are going like this, or their cash flow was, right? So I think it's been good from a restructuring of understanding that as well. But I'm hopeful that the environment gets back to supporting small businesses and entrepreneurs and their ventures. And then how we're evolving is we've been what I'm saying is we've been very custom in terms of being allowed more flexibility into the service level and our fee structure with our clients the last couple of years. But as we go forward, in 2025 to 2026, we are really focusing more on outbound sales and business development to different markets, right? So before, how we've grown, for the most part, it was just referral engine within some key partners, clients. Everybody needs an accountant and bookkeeper, whether we do it or whether somebody does it, right? It's that. So it's an easier sell than selling, an intangible service, let's say, but are more intangible. So we've kind of grown just kind of organically, where we've been reactive on sales. We really haven't went out and attacked new markets the way we should, right? Or new industries. So we're just kind of gearing up and ready to roll and kind of restructuring in that and looking at more kind of investment in our sales, marketing, kind of lead gen, the whole 9 yards with that.
That's exciting stuff. And I mean, it's hard. I mean, I know here at Sabretooth, we spent a couple of years investing in SEO and pay-per-click, kind of the traditional things that you see on the net, and really didn't have anything that moved the needle. And, hey, it's great that people are going to your site and they're reading your blogs or they're listening to your podcast, but at the end of the day, those don't move the needle. And I think you're right that sales engagement, getting revenue operations up and running in a way that's feeding the profitable parts of your business is going to be key for any small business, any medium business to survive this next year or two, because I think we're in this massive transition of what's going on around us. And if somebody's struggling, not necessarily just with the accounting, the bookkeeping side, but compliance and tax, and they want to chat with you, Brad, what's the best way for them to find you?
Two places, either at the World Wide Web, right, Accountfully.com, or social media. Instagram is kind of our big place, but LinkedIn, Instagram, kind of wherever you can find us, Accountfully, and then you can learn more about us and reach out to us. And then I still kind of handle a lot of the sales, so you'll see me if interested in chatting more.
Well, Brad Ebenhoeh from Accountfully.com, man, thanks so much for spending some time with us today.
I appreciate it, John.